What's fueling the current property boom? Investigating mortgage madness. The Sign Zone on BBC One in a few minutes. The weather now on BBC One. Here's Peter Gibbs with the forecast.
Hello there. I don't know if President Bush saw the American forecast before heading for the UK, but he's left behind some pretty lively weather. The main weather feature showing up on the satellite picture, that great massive cloud all the way from the Gulf of Mexico up into eastern Canada, and it's been producing some pretty torrential rain, again stretching all the way from Texas up through towards the Great Lakes, that rain working its way eastwards over the next couple of days. In fact, there's been all sorts of problems due to this weather system. 25 centimetres of rain, that's about 10 inches, falling in a day around Houston in Texas. We've seen very strong winds as well, overturning cars, buildings damaged, and it's left behind a lot of heavy snow across Colorado, which is still blocking roads. And that weather system is going to continue to move eastwards through the next 48 hours. So arriving on the east coast during Wednesday, some pretty strong winds ahead of it, but calmer conditions coming in behind, along with a drop in temperature. We find some more wet and windy weather as we move across towards the South China Sea. You can just about make out a swirl of cloud there, close to the island of Hainan. It's brought nearly 100 millimetres of rain over the last day or so. It's a typhoon, Nipatak. It's beginning to weaken now, moving across the Gulf of Tonkin. It'll soon be making landfall and weakening as it moves inland, but still some heavy rain to come, I think, over the next couple of days. And we've got some rain heading our way once again. This cloud streaming out of the Atlantic, bringing another pulse of rain to northern parts of the UK through tonight. The heaviest rain is likely across Scotland and Northern Ireland, but it'll gradually sink southwards towards the end of the night, so moving into northern England for a time during tomorrow morning. So quite a cloudy start for many of us, I think. Some of those heavier outbreaks of rain still likely across southern Scotland, northern England to start with, but brighter skies will soon push in from the north across most of Scotland, Northern Ireland and some parts of northern England too. Probably the best of sunshine again, I think, across eastern Scotland. Further south, hanging on to the cloud, pretty grey, pretty damp, fairly misty as well around many western coasts of Wales and across the hills, but elsewhere across England and Wales, one or two brighter spells, much as we saw during Tuesday. And still very mild as well, despite the cloudy skies across the southern half of England and Wales at least, 14, 15 degrees potentially, cooler further north, but having said that, with their lighter winds and with some sunshine, it shouldn't actually feel too bad at all. But that cooler air will move down across the whole of the UK during the latter part of this week, coming in behind this weather front, still giving some rain as it works its way southwards, and it might be reluctant to part company with the southeast of England during Friday, possibly even Saturday as well, so potential for some heavy rain there as well. Thursday sees that heavy rain though across Wales, perhaps southwest England, moving through the Midlands and into northern England for a time. Behind it again those brighter skies, but more in the way of showers I think across the northwest of Scotland. We'll see some more of those into Friday, but generally a lot brighter I think by Friday across many parts of the UK. And by the weekend, a bit of a cooler feel generally, perhaps a nighttime frost, especially in the north, but elsewhere sunny intervals and showers. Bye-bye.
God doesn't give you anything you can't handle.
We go behind the celebrity stories of faith.
My idea was, hey, I'm the one that can get you home.
To reveal the importance of belief.
Of course I could be a Christian and a pop singer.
Having stood on national television and said, God is more important to me than athletics, therefore I will not jump on a Sunday. I don't have a problem with that decision.
Could it mean the difference between success and failure?
Do you think God played any part in the result?
Yes.
Hand of God with Michael Burke next Tuesday at 10:35 on BBC One.
Real-life stories from an exclusive London postcode. Chelsea Tales on BBC One in half an hour. This is the Sign Zone on BBC One, now investigating mortgage madness, the money programme.
This week we uncover a massive mortgage fraud. It's so widespread it could explain why British house prices have gone on rising for so long.
I cannot think of a fraud when so many people have lied about so much money.
Mortgage brokers have been encouraging house buyers to break the law to get massive mortgages.
It is lying, and that's what you have to do.
I know it all works, so it's a walk in the park.
Buyers who've got their mortgages this way could end up with criminal records. For the brokers who egged them on, it could be even worse.
It's not a question of not going to prison, it's a question of how long.
With money from this fraud now pouring into the housing market, we reveal how some of Britain's biggest lenders have helped create mortgage madness. Andy Ashford lives in Ealing, a house price hotspot in West London. He's a teacher earning £30,000 a year and has £25,000 to put down as a deposit. Andy's now renting, but he dreams of buying a place of his own.
I was born in Ealing, and for the last 29 years I've been living in the area. My life is here, my family are here, so work and life tend to sort of revolve around the same place. We get brochures like this through the door all the time around here, from estate agents in the area showing us the sort of things we could get if we had the money. I always think of it as a bit like when it's sort of Christmas time and you were looking through all the little catalogues to see all the lovely toys you wanted, but then realised you weren't going to be getting any of them because you couldn't really afford them.
What's your budget to be able to buy?
We're looking at around about the 140,000 mark.
What are you able to get for that sort of money?
Not very much. In fact, nothing. A studio flat in the outskirts of Ealing may just come in under that amount. However, one-bedroom, two-bedroom places are sky high now, sort of over the £200,000 mark.
Andy Ashford isn't alone in finding himself priced out of the market. The average home in Britain now costs almost 6 times the average wage. Experts are baffled. With prices out of the reach of so many people, the market should have cooled. Over the past 3 years, forecasters predicted a gentle rise in prices. That didn't happen. House prices rocketed. Why they rose so sharply is a mystery.
Prices are now at record highs, but still here in Ealing, flats are often snapped up almost as soon as they hit the market. So there's certainly no shortage of buyers. The question is, how are they managing to raise the money?
Since nobody could explain where the money was coming from to keep prices rising, we went undercover to see if we could find some answers. A member of our team visited the group of estate agents clustered round Ealing Station. We posed as a first-time buyer, and we said we had a salary of £30,000, the same as Andy, and a £35,000 deposit. So, how could we raise the £220,000 it could cost us to buy a flat in Ealing? We started out at the Ealing branch of Rolfe East. Here we were referred to a mortgage advisor based in their office.
Hello, I'm here to see Patrick. Nice to meet you, mate.
And you, how you doing?
Sorry.
Patrick Dalton started out by telling us what Andy Ashford had already discovered, that in Ealing, a salary of £30,000 doesn't get you very far.
Every single lender in the country, on a single application, will give you 3 times your salary.
Right.
Which is 80,000.
Right.
Some will give you 3.25.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and work that out.
Right.
Some 3.5. Every time we go up 0.25% though, your pool of lenders gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right, okay.
Generally, 4 times is your maximum.
Okay.
It's what's called your borrowing potential.
Right, okay.
20,000.
Bad news. £120,000 plus our deposit is £155,000, and there's next to nothing on offer here for that. But then Patrick suggested an alternative, what's called a self-certification mortgage, where you state your earnings, and unlike a normal mortgage, the lender doesn't check what you claim.
With the self-certification, you've got to be a bit cheeky. Okay? It means putting down an income that you might not necessarily actually earn.
Right, okay.
But they take your word for it.
Fine.
That's it.
In this case, how much would I have to say?
Let's have a look. We're on 184 we're looking to borrow.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look at Morgan Rock's income multiplier. 3.5. You ready for that? 52,000.
So, yeah, I've gone up in the management world.
Oh yes, you've had a huge promotion and a pay rise and a nice new car.
Right, okay. And I have to write that figure in, do I?
Yes.
Right, okay.
But again, it's something they don't check.
This is all okay, Patrick, yeah?
Perfectly fine.
Right. Thank you very much for your time.
It was extraordinary. We'd just been advised to lie on a mortgage application form.
That lie makes an amazing difference. It gets us another £65,000 on our mortgage, so now we can buy for £220,000.
And for that kind of money, there's plenty to choose from. But what Patrick didn't tell us is that by lying about our income, we'd be breaking the law.
A person who fills out a form knowingly, entering a false statement about his income or his occupation, is at risk of going to prison. It is a serious offence. The type of offences which would normally be committed by someone doing this would be obtaining a money transfer by deception or false accounting, and they carry maximum penalties between 7 and 10 years each.
For someone in Andy Ashford's position, desperate to buy, lying to get a mortgage might be tempting. We showed him what Patrick had said.
184 we're looking to buy.
184?
Yeah, he was on the same salary as you.
That's mad. Oh my God. So he's now going to say he earns 52,000 a year.
So what do you think about that, Andy?
I can't believe it, actually. It's frightening that I'm seeing somebody who works for an estate agent actually recommending it as an option. I had absolutely no idea that that sort of thing was possible.
You can't get a big enough mortgage to buy what you want.
No.
Would you be prepared to lie about your income to get a bigger mortgage?
It's a tough one. But then my option, my potential to say no to that is getting smaller and smaller because I'm being priced out of the market. So if it was the only way to get on the property ladder, I'd say I'd probably have to.
Even if a borrower managed to avoid getting caught, there's another major drawback. Our fraudulent mortgage is over 6 times our income, far bigger than the normal multiples lenders allow. Dr. Desmond Fitzgerald advises regulators and bankers round